maybe we started the rollouts starting yesterday, and in the next 24 hours, every one of your accounts will be automatically upgraded to this, right? Now, people saying, okay, I got the unlimited and I got the elite, either or. Do I need to upgrade? No, you don't have. It's a free, massive upgrade that we did across the board for everyone, for absolutely free. It's the version 5. We started with version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the idea is 100%, right? You're going to have some suggestions and feedback. And I'm open for all the suggestions and feedbacks that you guys have, specifically considering language suggestions, model suggestions, category suggestions, feature suggestions, and all that. Because again, as I said, this artistly 5.0 would not be possible, would not exist without you guys, right? Because it's just made from your feedback, right? Every little detail that you see is by your feedback. And I just want to say, because sometimes your team gets kind of does not get the limelight, and I just want to share that amazing team of developers and machine learning engineers and researchers, right, who spend day in and day out pushing this update, shipping this up, because I'm not a technical guy. I'm telling you, right? Like I don't know how to code, right? I'm conveying your messages and your feedback in the system, and without you and without them, without the whole team, without the team, it would not be possible. I just want to say that I appreciate all your suggestions and feedback, and it really means a lot. And again, this is a 5.0. This is going to be 7.0, 8.0 in the future. Who knows, right? But one thing I want to make sure, that one thing that I make sure is 100%. I mean, this artistly or any one of our product is not going to be your generalized products, right? It will be products to make your life simpler, get you faster results, get fantastic outcome that you can outbeat your competition. Because again, as I said, 0 times 100, it's still a 0. So you need speed and you need quality, and that's what the ongoing our application is going to fulfill. So you're going to be super fast in this AI world. You're not left behind by the competition, by the other people, and your quality is going to be outmost. It's going to beat everyone, right? So that's the idea. Just in case for the folks who are listening to this for the first time, who does not even, like, if you're not even aware about Artistly, you can get Artistly. We have the link there, just in case if you don't have it. Anyways,
You can test ride for
so
like 49 bucks. I mean, really, you know what you got to do. That's the starting point to get. And as I mentioned, even that $49 plan, one time payment for lifetime access, even that one, you just go create design and you can do it right from the get go. The quality is very high, even for that. Like any images that you design from here, like this create from prompt or whatever it might be in any one of these dimensions, you can bet it's going to be the very best quality. So we did not really say, okay, this is a smaller plan, so the quality of the image will be slightly lower or whatever. It's going to be high quality regardless. It's just a couple of features which are mostly this design agent stuff, where imagine we're trying to generate an entire storybook for you, which is 50 pages, 25 pages, 10 pages, 5 pages, whatever, or personalized storybooks where you can upload your own photo and we train it so that every photo is consistently creating consistent character storybooks. That requires a lot of behind the scenes server resources. So that's one where you can buy it. And that was the only one upgrade you'd have to buy ever. So you can just get that and you're good to go. And we've done all the updates already. Now, just a couple of points that I wanted to also cover here as well, because I know a couple of questions came in, Yash, about the 300 DPI. So if people are having any issues with that, generally what's the general idea here? You suggest them to use the AI bulk actions feature for better output, or what do you suggest for the 300 DPI? What's
yeah.
the best approach?
So okay. So I'll tell you.
First of all,
So
let's talk about what is 300 DPI for those who don't understand it.
okay. So 300 dpi. So so in a language, it's like your pixels, right? And your these technical requirements. They have this thing is your pixel needs to be stretched enough that they look perfect, right? And a lot of these images have 220 dpi. That means your pixels are smaller in a very simpler terms, right? So what that 300 dpi does, it kind of makes like if each pixel divides into 300 pieces in a sense, so that when you stretch it, when they actually print it on your design or on your t-shirt, your designs, it comes perfectly. It does not blur out and stuff like that's why that's a formal practice, official practice, by your Amazon, whether it's KDP designs, your Pinterest design, your t-shirts and all in a very simpler term. That's what it means. is basically you're stretching your pixels by 300, so that when you use them on your t-shirt, when they use it on a t-shirt, when they print it, when they do the printing, it comes perfect. And that's the thing, right? Because your typical images are 20 dpi, your 30 dpi, so like when you stretch it, it gets blurred. But when you do 300 dpi, every pixel or every inch is perfect, right? So that's the beauty here. Now, what you can do also, you can find 300 dpi also in AI Design Assistant as well. So if you go to AI Design Assistant, you will go Design Assistant, and inside Upscaler, you will see all the options, because 300 dpi is a part of upscaling, right? Exactly, it means 300 dots per inch, 100%. So exactly, perfect. So that's the thing. You can convert to 300 dpi here, and yeah, there you go. And you can upscale the image, and then you would get the results, right? You would get that quality enlarged
And
for
if you're
that.
having any issues, folks, on this or any other feature out there, because obviously we're always looking at your feedback, you can email us there. I'll leave the support email as well right now on your screen. So just email us. Maybe there's something we can take a look. Just FYI, just a reference point here that I wanted to mention here, which is of really good excitement for us. We have a support team that works 7 days a week, okay, for Artistly, okay?
Yeah.
Very important. It was a big major thing for us, a milestone. So what that means is Monday to Sunday, we have somebody in the support team working on your behalf. So you don't have to worry saying, hey, today's a Friday. If I don't mail within the next whatever, I'm going to only hear back on Monday. We wanted to avoid that. So that's 7 days. So on a Saturday or a Sunday, we have staff handling your support tickets for Artistly. So not an issue at all. Where are you going to see the support details? You see on the top, we also added this. I want to show you a couple of things. So you see this is the new updates tab. We're going to be loading all the updates here. So you see this Artistly V5 is at coming soon, which is today. So you're going to see any updates on this. You see this. We posted a video here. So any new updates we make, we'll make it here. So you don't have to worry about, hey, should I check our Facebook group and stuff, which is good, obviously. But you can also check them here in the updates tab on the top. What we're going to do is every time you log in, so let's say you log in, we don't want to show you 10 times in the day, but maybe once every 24 hours, we're going to show you here so that you can keep monitoring that. Second thing is you see the support. We click on the support tab. You see this? And then you'll see the support tab. Although we said office is closed on weekends, you can ignore that. As of last month, we've been consistently doing 7 days a week. Okay, so just a quick update on that. I mean, it doesn't mean much, but for some people who are, let's say, who just purchased it on a Friday night and they want a quick support, they don't have to wait until Monday. You can start using it even on a Saturday morning or whatever. And then that's also different time zones our staff works at. So one of the things is I think we cover about 16 to 18 hours in a 24-hour period. Okay, so there's only about 6 hours where we don't respond. So which means there's a 80%, 90% chance that if you email us at a specific time zone, European, let's say American or whatever, Asia, whatever, most likely you'll receive a response back within a couple of hours or less, depending on whichever time zone you're in. It doesn't really matter. So that's the goal here, okay? The idea is to improve speed. That's the support thing. Now, I want to also mention here, you see how 300 DPI it says processing? Because a lot of upscaling is being done. So you got to be a little bit patient here for that one. Because what we're really doing is upscaling it to a huge dimension, okay? If you think about it. So keep that in mind. And if you're seeing any issues, as I mentioned, you can email us there. As well as at the email, we will just reply back to you at support@artistly.ai there to see maybe there's some issue with your image or whatever, and we may even fix anything that could need to be fixed. Okay, that's not an issue at all, because we are very aware that there's so many different ways people use Artistly, so that is something that we are very aware of. So something even we didn't account for. Okay, that's the other reason. So we're going to be answering a couple other questions right now, and then I wanted to make this a very crisp webinar. The other thing I wanted to mention here is about tutorials. You see that last tab, it says tutorials. So let's talk about that. You see that little question mark there on the top? So this is where our tutorials are located. Okay, so click on here. So let's say this one is an hour long. I mean, not everybody wants to go watch this hour long every single time. So what we did is we made all this list of tutorials here, as you can see, with the naming convention, and you scroll down, all these tutorials show up here. And some of the
And
features, right? Sorry, go ahead.
sorry to interrupt you, but also main thing is with the version 5 in the next 24 hours, these tutorials will be completely upgraded just in case.
Yes. So our
So
team
yeah.
is working on that right now. So because of the fact that a lot of the changes we're talking about got sent to all the users at once, and will be in the next few hours as well, coming into all accounts. Like say, for example, one of the things that I noticed is for some of you folks, when you go to dashboard, this was showing V4, right? So what we wanted to do in order to avoid that is we just pushed it into all accounts, so you don't have to see it, because sometimes what happens is somebody logged in a couple of days ago and they're logging back in, that session is from then, so it didn't update. So we made sure that we refreshed it so you all can see that right now, so there's no confusion. Similarly, even with the tutorials, that's the reason why in the next 24 hours or so, you're going to see on that tutorials page all the new features that we've discussed right now. And some of this stuff maybe we didn't even get to discuss because it was too small, like wallpaper art or something, may not have been the top priority in your mind. So that's the other reason. So a lot of questions came in also about let's say converting these into videos. So that is basically where we're going to be talking about in our next training sessions as well, which is our Video Express application, which is going to be having a massive version 2.0 update, as I mentioned before, with direct integration with Artistly. Okay, what does that mean? What that means, in other words, is if you go into your user account and you go to user profile, we're going to do something like this, like an API key. Okay, we're going to give you this that is going to be specific to every account. What we're going to do is not just Video Express, but other applications of ours. You can just basically copy paste this key into any of our applications. We're going to start off with Video Express, but then later on, let's say with the Video Express, you can turn that image into video, okay, in bulk. That's number one. In the case of, let's say, ClickSites for AI website designer, you can upload this API key and then put those images into your websites, for example, right? So those will be the integration points. So this was the starting point. You'll all see it soon in your account, but this is the way we're going to do it. This will be unique to you to use in any of our applications, okay? So that the integration will be smooth and straightforward. So that's the way we are planning on implementing that. There's other cool things as well we can get to, but I just want to mention that. Now, the other point as well is if from here, any feature that we've had in the past that I was want to answer, they were in the subcategories, okay? So let's say, for example, here in AI Image Designer, you go here, as you can see, we put these options right here. If you want us to create, let's say, a category, we were thinking about this, let us know in the next training session, we'll talk about this, where we're thinking of like a quick let's say bookmark kind of thing. For example, if you like a specific feature, you can go in and it will be in the step number 1 right here. So it's going to show up right here or whatever. So you don't have to go into a subcategory and go in. So we're thinking about that. If that's something you folks want, let us know as well. Our team will work on it. The idea is basically if you're mostly using AI design agents and kid storybooks, let's say, that's the thing you're working on, you can kind of like it or favorite it, let's say, for example, and you come back to any one of the top settings, it'll be up here. Okay, so that's something like that. Similarly, why I'm bringing this up is if some of the features from the older versions that you folks liked, let's say, for example, they're not appearing here, let us know and we will put them up in here as well. Because what we did, as I said, is we merged some of them, right? So consistent characters, for example, realistic images is your train your own AI, for example. Okay, we can update the tutorials to reflect that, to make it easy. But in case you're not sure about that, of course, we're going to make sure that we name it that way. So let our support team know about this, okay? So that it's not a difficult thing for us to do. Because what we underlying thing that we did, and that's what I wanted to kind of mention here, is that the underlying quality from the get-go is going to be good now, which was not the case, let's say, with a lot of applications out there. I'd say all the other applications. Let's say, for example, in ChatGPT, for example, if you go in, if you don't pick the right option, let's say GPT 4.5, the quality is not going to be as good with GPT 3.5 or something, correct? With us, we didn't want to do that. From the get-go, it's going to be highest quality automatically, okay? So whatever choice you do. So this is the reason why if you want something which is maybe in a different category or something like that, let us know, okay? Because maybe we didn't account for that. Maybe you liked something in a certain way in a certain section. Let us know at support@artistly.ai. We're gonna check your feedback and get that up, because the idea is, obviously, if you like something, why would we change it or do something like that? But just make sure that you check out your features in these areas. They will be there, okay? Now, where did you put perfect text? Excellent question. This is what I was looking for. Okay. The idea was, initially, when we put perfect text, this is exactly what I was referring to. When we did perfect text, it was 2 sections, okay? Why did we do that? Well, for us, perfect text used a different system to generate perfect text. So basically, when you did that, it generated it from a different system. And in the case of normal AI designer, it generated from a different system. There were 2 different systems that went through it. Now we merged them together. Okay, does that make sense now? So what that means, you don't have to worry about whether it is gonna have perfect text or not. It's gonna be perfect text regardless whatever image you design. Does that make sense? So let's say, for example, if I do photorealism and I put let's say, for example, an artist who is 65 years old, let's say a male artist, let's say a male artist 65 years old, holding the sign that says artistly rocks. Okay, before you'd have to use the perfect text setting to get this. Now you don't have to. Does that make sense? So let's say you can even enhance the prompt here, as you can see, and you can make it a little bit better if you want. But regardless, whether using text or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can generate it. So let's say whatever dimensions you want to do, 16 by 9, and then you want to do 4, then click generate. So what's going to happen is, from the get-go, regardless of what option you're picking, the text will be perfect. Does that make sense now? That's very important, because one of the biggest issues we were facing also from customer feedback perspective, a lot of people were like, well, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You see this? See this? Perfect text. You see this? Perfect. You don't have to wait, see every single image as perfect. See, artistly, even the eye is perfect, you see? And let's say this one as well. See, it's it's perfect from the get-go. That's the basic idea here. See? That's the basic idea. Okay, got it? So that's the idea. So what we're aiming for was, from the get-go, it's good. You don't have to see this. See how fast it's generating also, by the way. That's another thing we've improved. The quality is high, but the speed is very high too. Little details takes a long time to get it the way we want it, but way you want it, perfect. But this is the basic idea. So what I mean by that is, yes. So if you thought, hey, I have to go to that section to get the best quality, we don't want you to think that way. Every feature is the highest quality. Okay, that's the most important thing. Good thing you brought this up, because I wanted to mention this right here so that it makes more sense. Because see what happens, let's just think about it from an AI design perspective. We have something called book cover, for example. Okay, in book cover, you need really good text, obviously. So a lot of people would always think, hey, to get perfect text, I'm going to use the book cover option in order to get that brochure design or something else like that, which has nothing to do with the book cover. We don't want that to be the thought process. When you go into any of these options, regardless, it's going to be perfect text from the get-go. Does that make sense? Similarly, whether it is, let's say, YouTube thumbnails, right? Similar point. If you did recreate a thumbnail or videos to thumbnail, let's say you did recreate a thumbnail and you put a URL and you wanted to recreate it, okay? Let's say, for example, same problem. Thumbnails have perfect text. Okay, so people would say, okay, is there a difference between if I did videos to thumbnail or recreate thumbnail? Maybe they're using 2 different systems, therefore I'm kind of confused. Which one do I pick? Don't have to worry about that. It'll be perfect from the get-go. Okay, so that's the most important way to think about what we're trying to do across the board, and that's for every single feature within Artistly as well. And similarly, even the dimension. So before, if you recall, if you did create from prompt, and let's say you created some dimensions, let's say 2 by 3 or 4 by 5 is basically Facebook news feeds and stuff like that. So let's say, or somebody was asking about Pinterest. Okay, can I create it for Pinterest? There's specific dimensions Pinterest would want. Similarly, regardless of what you picked, it'll be perfect quality. Again, very important, because a lot of times we had people who would generate 1:1 and then upscale it or outpaint it in the editor to make it into a different dimension. So that was the other ease of use thing. Now, the other question that came in is, then what happens to the advanced editor? Create design, and then we go to advanced AI image designer. What happens to this? Same concept applies here. every single element here has been updated such that it will work from the get-go in the perfect possible quality. You see this? We have learn how to code, beginner course right here. You see this? So this allows you to do some other elements like custom consistent character and all that. Little bit more like a Canva or a Photoshop style editor. Again, what we did here across the board, if you think about it, is every element has been improved upon such that you don't have to use a specific idea or style. You can get it across the board. So let's say product influencer, you want them to wear certain clothing or whatever. You don't have to worry about, hey, is the quality going to be good if I upload a certain type of image? Let's say your image is lower quality. Can it upscale work? Yes, it's going to work right across the board. Then yes, you see this Artistly 4.0, it shouldn't be 4.0. We're going to update that. See one little detail I just noticed. Okay, but yeah, so this is the reason why this happened is in all accounts we were rolling out this update. Sometimes you have to log out and come back in to see that update. So we're going to update this as well so that it applies to all accounts. So we have to do behind the scenes to refresh it. So it's going to be a couple of seconds, not an issue. But you see this, right? Product influencer, text, media, choose from design, all these other features. The thumbnail thing we added as well recently, where a lot of people wanted to edit the thumbnail. See, if you go into the main application, the AI image designer application, and you go in to, let's say, design agents, and you did the thumbnail design, let's say, for example, YouTube thumbnails. Let's say you chose this and you created a thumbnail. What if you want to edit it? Let's add more text to it. Let's say you want to upscale it, or you want to make it a different dimension, resize it, outpaint, inpaint, whatever. Well, you can do that in the editor now. So like this one, like say, for example, these are like YouTube style, you see. So these require perfect text, perfect quality photo of the face, certain elements. That's the thing that we're actually doing here as well for the thumbnail update we made. So that basically will make you make it easy for you to add headings. Let's say you want to add a heading here, you want to add shapes here. You get the point. Layers and all that kind of good stuff. You can do it. With a little bit more editing capability. So yes, we've updated as well. It's just that for ease of use, a lot of people prefer the general AI designer. It's fast, straightforward. For people who want a little bit more editing capability, they want to spend a little bit more time on that one image to make it better and better, the advanced editor. And you can do both, by the way, too. So you can always get a personal design element and bring that into the editor as well. So let's say you like this one as well. You can always save this and bring it into your editor. You can always add folders here and you can put them in. Not that difficult. Very straightforward setup here. Okay, you see this right here. It says edit this image. So let's say this image. I click on that little brush icon here, and then boom, it opens it up in the editor. You see, and then you can do different elements here, and you can do that. So that's the reason why we did it. So that if you want more, if you will, editing capability to add a little bit more like a Photoshop Canva style stuff, you can do it with the editor. Okay, so just for those who were asking what happened to the editor, that's basically the answer. Hopefully it will be a clear answer for you. Okay, now another point also was the basic idea is basically how is this going to be playing out into the future? That's the last question I'm going to answer, and yes, you can go ahead with the other questions here as well. So what I wanted to kind of talk about right now is the plan. So first of all, Artistly, we want to make it the very best AI design tool. Anything with design, whether it is storybooks, whether it is anything you can imagine, we want to make it possible. Okay, whether it is design storybooks, whether it is whatever, and anything you can imagine. Okay, so for example, in the application, what we did in the beginning, the idea was, okay, let's make this the best design tool. So we started off, you see, these were the original features, right? If you think about it. So we said magic merge, you can do it instant e-commerce stuff. You can do style replicator, you can replicate a style of an image. Then we did the editor, as you can see, the Canvas style editor that you saw just now. And we wanted to do the kids and storybook. But what we are realizing is the future is not here. Okay, meaning Photoshop and say a Canva, those are old way of doing things. The new way of doing things is basically the AI should think and give you what you want ultimately. Okay, so what that means, in other words, is if I go into the Artistly application, so let me go back here. So let's say go back to the Artistly editor, let's say. So, and just as a simple terms, right? So let me actually do that right now. Just give me a sec. So the idea is if you are trying to edit any image or you're doing anything, the workflow concept, okay, think of it like a Zapier or let's say, for example, like a chat GPT. If you can basically tell the AI, look, this is what I'm looking for, and can you make that happen for me? That is what we are trying to achieve here without much mumbo jumbo techie stuff. So if that has to be in the fast